Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessings, blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Good evening, villagers. You hear?
Can't hear you.
Can't hear me.
Good evening.
I can't hear you, but I can hear.
I hear
Yeah,
it.
I can't hear you. Say something, Dr. Brian.
Good evening, villagers, and welcome to tonight's episode. What, you can't hear? All
Can you
right.
plug in? I can't hear you. Okay.
Okay, it's plugging. You hear, right?
No, I can't hear. Okay, I can't hear you. Okay. Can you hear me? 1, 2.
I think they can hear you. I think they can hear you.
Can you
Some
hear?
little technical difficulties. So if you can actually hear us, just let us know. And that'll be,
I can hear now, yes.
I can hear you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I still hear feedback on it. You can turn it
Yeah,
on.
I hear it.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for
Good
joining
evening.
us. I am in the studio with John Sampson and Andre Doman, and Sophia is actually, she's on. So thank you for joining us this evening, and we're waiting for our fearless leader to join us.
Oh, shit. Oh, excuse the expression. I didn't know we was covered on today. I thought we had the studio all to ourselves. This was a Roderick free broadcast. Oh well. Welcome, Dr. Brian, to the studio. It's always a blessing to have you in the studio to impart some knowledge and wisdom and keep us in order here on the Village Talk Show.
In your
Welcome,
mouth,
Dr.
too.
Ryan. I know, in my mouth too, Dr. Ryan. I know. So, Doc, what's happening?
Man, there's a lot happening.
Break
So,
it down for us, Doc.
Your house speaker is
You mean
not.
Kevin McCarthy?
Your-
Oops. We don't have a speaker, so it's wrong.
Oh. So the 11th hour, the 11th vote, and still no winner. So what happened?
First of all, congratulations to Congressman Jeffries for becoming the Democratic leader.
Mm-hmm.
He has 212 votes. He has 11 more votes than Kevin McCarthy. However, we know that the Republicans in numbers have the majority. However, there are 21 people who are vehemently against Kevin McCarthy becoming the next speaker.
Now, what will happen if they vote for Hakeem Jeffries?
If they vote,
Uh-huh.
first of all, for them to even consider voting for Hakeem, they have to know that they have signed their death warrant because they will not be reelected. I would expect someone who is maybe if this is their last term in Congress,
Mhm.
doing something like that. But you have a few of them that who will never vote for a Democrat. However, you have some moderate Republicans. I think if it gets to the point now where they call them the Taliban 20 or Taliban 19 or Taliban 20, if they continue to hold out like this, because the majority of the Republicans want to support Kevin McCarthy, but you have these holdouts, 19 or a fifth, who are just holding out to the point where it's creating total chaos. But this is indicative of who the Republicans are. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
But surprising because usually they stick together no matter what. Thick, thin, lies, and everything.
Well, that used to be, because obviously you see there's a fracture within the Republican Party. Those are those hardline Republicans who seem to be a little worse than the Tea Party individual. So right now it's come down to this. Kevin McCarthy, he failed on the 11th time to become the next speaker. So this can continue ad nauseum until someone capitulates and says, "Okay, we're going to give him these votes." Well, if I was Kevin McCarthy, one, we would not leave the chamber. We would sit up there and vote, continue to vote. Hey, what's up, brother Warren? Is there a path for Jeffries to become speaker? There is a path if you have some of the moderate Republicans who are willing to come over to the Democratic side. That could be the case
Mm-hmm.
if McCarthy capitulates so much that he gives these 19 everything but the kitchen sink. At that point in time, there's some Republicans who say, why? I expended all my capital and everything to get reelected to support McCarthy, and these guys are just holding up the whole process. They can say, to hell with it. I'm going to give Hakeem Jeffries, I'm going to give the Democrats my vote. In order for that to happen, there's going to have to be a deal cut. Even, I think, if I were the Kevin McCarthy, these are so vehemently against me, I would take my 200 votes that I have, go to Hakeem Jeffries, and say, let's put together a coalition government and cut out those 20 to 21 individuals. I would leave them. This is something, who would do something like this? What leader would have done something like this? I think Newt Gingrich would have done something like this.
I was speaking about him.
Newt Gingrich would have done something like this. And also, I think Tip O'Neill, even he ran for president. Who was a senator? The senator who ran for president. He was a speaker before. He was the majority leader. That slips my mind. But I think those individuals will cut a deal with the other side in order to isolate those 20, because basically they're being held hostage by those 21 votes. And you know what? The United States always says we don't negotiate with terrorists, so there's no time. There ain't no time to negotiate. So I would not negotiate. I would blow up the whole thing.
But
and say,
you know what?
Let's get a coalition government going.
Well, he gave up all his rights anyway.
He gave up. I don't know how Kevin McCarthy even would want to be speaker. He gave up practically everything. When one person could basically curtail your speakership, what the hell is he doing? This is why they don't vote for Kevin McCarthy. You know why?
Because he has no backbone.
He has no backbone. He has no soul. He has no core.
He just wants power.
That's
power,
all he's
power.
concerned about, just grabbing the gavel and being called the speaker.
So
that's like the emperor. That's like being an emperor with no clothes on.
So I'm glad that they're holding out. Hold out. That's what I said. But you know what? I have to go back and I have to apologize to everyone. Happy New Year. It felt like we were on last week, but New Year's was what? Saturday going into Sunday. So Happy New Year's to all our
Happy
villagers.
New Year's, that's correct.
I hope you had a wonderful and safe New Year. So apologies on this end. And it was Independence Day on
first.
the first as well for Haiti. So happy Independence Day. So a lot.
Are they really independent with all this
Yeah,
happening?
I was having a conversation with someone
Yeah.
just yesterday about that. To celebrate independence and you're really not free is something that's really sad. Overall, are you truly free? Not really. You're free from one, but you actually enslave your own self.
Yeah, 'cause your economy and your language is still kind of like sort of. I'm saying your economy, your language still have some sort of control, right? Like even though the Queen even passed, a lot of Caribbean countries them still follow a lot of what was instituted during colonial times, same way. So I know it's a question of what exactly does it mean to be independent.
Or what does it mean to be free
Yeah,
from everything?
As Bob Marley would say, free of mental, what is it?
free, and emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
Redemption songs.
Redemption sound.
We should have played
So I do find that one.
that.
But villagers, sometimes you wonder, are you actually free? Are you independent? Sometimes you wonder, is the United States the best country in the world? Everybody wants to come here, and
And that's why Biden is creating all these wonderful laws to prevent some immigrants from coming in.
But you know what? But you know what? We need to get in control. We need
do.
to have control of the border, because if you look at all of the what do they call those? The states, all of the what is that? All of the states, the freedom states, what do they call those? With all the immigrants who set these laws. Well, that just slipped my mind. Basically, but what happens if we are truly being inundated with a lot of migrants and
What Colorado's doing is ridiculous.
yeah, but you know what? The whole point is the people. If we're not controlling the border, go ahead, Andre. If we're not controlling the border, ladies and gentlemen, it's got the droves of people are just going to constantly come in. There needs to be some sort of order, And then you have those individuals who are here legally, and because the process is so chaotic, the process is so archaic. So something has to be done, and both Democrats and Republicans, no one wants to touch this immigration issue.
Why?
Because it's a political football that could backfire. That's what it is, and that's what they're afraid of. And this is why villagers. You see what's going on in Albany with Kevin McCarthy, and can't get enough votes to become speaker. You see what's happening. We can't get true. We can't have the reform that is necessary for these immigration laws. And the reason is because we have elected officials who are so entrenched. And that is due to no term limits. I really think there should be term limits. After seeing what's going on in this speaker's race, I think there truly should be term limits. So people can really actually vote the way they should be voting, because they are voting because they think this is their career, to be an elected official for the rest of their lives. As a result, you have no backbone, because if Kevin McCarthy was being term limited out, I'm quite sure he would do things differently instead of capitulating to the Taliban 19 or the Taliban 20.
You know what? I agree with that. In regards to if there was term limits, maybe some politician would work harder. I'll be honest about that. And maybe they would take the promises that they make seriously and actually do some work. So let's go back to what Biden stated today. So he unveiled new policy that will accept 30,000 migrants a month from 4 nations, but will also crack down on those who fail to use the planned legal pathway.
So you said 30,000
Migrants a month
and from 4 countries?
from 4 nations.
From 4 nations. What are the 4 nations?
You know it has to be with Mexico, right?
Go ahead.
Uh, well, Venezuela is on the no list. Haiti is on the no list. And
So what the hell are we doing then? What the hell are we doing?
so it's interesting to me how that was a discussion we had earlier, and Roger did bring up an interesting point and state that certain politicians are not fighting for their country and not fighting for the right of certain, just overall. So when you ban,
Oh, that was
that was me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse Dr. Brian. This is like our first time in the studio for the year. Please excuse him.
Yes, it is.
Dr. Brian, no more disruptions, please, Dr. Brian. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Oh, you can't hear?
no. Just speak a little lower.
So, Doc, what are you trying to say, Doc, about this whole immigration piece? What are you trying to get to?
To pick and choose what countries? Yes, a lot of countries come in illegally. You have Panama, you have Venezuela, you have Cuba, but everyone is coming to the land where there is gold on the floor and money coming from the air and the skies and all these wonderful promises that are
It's
made.
called opportunity.
Yes,
That's what it's called, opportunity.
yes.
And the opportunity here in the United States of America is priceless.
Mm-hmm,
You can come here with, my father came here with $5 in his pocket,
mm-hmm,
and he amassed a lot. We have some people who come here with very little,
mm-hmm.
and they have become millionaires, billionaires. So this is the land of opportunity. But at some point in time, you can't be overrun by, 30,000 migrants per month coming into the United States.
But Mexico agreed to accept some of those migrants as well to take their share. But eventually, whoever they accept will end up coming here, right back here.
Right, exactly. So at some point in time, like what's going on here in New York City,
From
the
Colorado.
migrants are being shipped over here. It's the city budget's going to be blown, and those other areas that need financial support are going to be cut. So that's why Washington, as Mayor Adams has continued to say,
Mhm.
Washington needs to chip in, and also state government needs to chip in.
Now, why do they think that New York is a place that can house
Maybe that's
everyone?
what it is.
You know why? This is all a political stunt.
Okay.
This is truly a political stunt. And what really got my goat was when during Christmas, I think it was Governor Abbott had the temerity to send those migrants over to the vice president's residence.
That is
Now, that's just
blatant disrespect.
blatant disrespect. And I can understand, Governor Abbott being upset with all the migrants and everything and not getting the attention he needs. But to use them as a political pawn,
With shorts in that cold.
just total disregard of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the decency
None.
It's still here.
that we try to exhibit one another? So politics has gotten to the point now where there's no more civil. There's no more civilness. There's no more camaraderie. It's all about either you're for me or you're against me. Then you got the woke crowd. If you don't do if you do something that is offensive to me, you need to be canceled out. There is no room for dialogue anymore. for people who have differences to actually sit at the table and learn from one another. That doesn't exist no more because everyone's so afraid of just being open. Everyone fails to just be open minded.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. It's my way or no way. You find a lot of people are angry, and I'm tired of people saying that COVID is the reason why they're angry. Or no,
Well, Doc, I don't know about that. It could be COVID too, because of the impact that COVID has had on a lot of these people. You have
yeah,
this long COVID, so it could be true. It's the constant
you
isolation.
cannot blame everything on COVID.
I can understand that. You can blame some of it on COVID.
Yeah, some, but
You can't blame it. I mean, it
the
contributed.
crime,
Yeah.
people being reckless,
Mm-hmm.
and just the I don't care syndrome, and
Mhm.
I want to take out revenge or whatever.
Mhm.
That's not COVID.
Mhm.
That is, you got a deeper issue, you have a deeper problem, and you're taking it out on everyone. So someone walking down the street and will punch somebody out like they punched um that guard that was at
Oh yeah.
the 61-year-old man who was doing his job
Good
and
job.
punching him in the back of the head where he died. You cannot tell me that is COVID related. That has nothing to do with that. That is a disturbed individual. What is the point on the anger? Where are all these anger? I was discussing with someone about that. There's a lot of angry individuals, and they're taking it out on innocent people.
And uh, what's the core of their anger? What is the trigger? What is the trigger? Sometimes it could be, your social economic position in life. Some could be some who have no resonance, or some just pure issues dealing with mental health and the inability to get the assistance that they need. It comes to the point in time where there needs to be an awakening of our own humanity to extend our olive branch to someone who may look different than us, speak different than us, but at the same time, we all want the same thing. However, we allow our prejudices within us to limit our vision, so we can just be short sighted on things. So it's important that we focus on the human aspect of individuals. I always believe that there before the grace of God I go. Some people don't see that, but it's true.
Yeah.
Take for example, villagers. I had a good friend of mine who used to work for me, Marie Monk. They used to call her Miss Boone. She was out of Tilden House. Last Friday, I attended funeral services, and she passed on. And one thing that speaker after speaker said, and community people in the neighborhood said,
Mm-hmm.
was that this was a woman who was all about the people. She lived in Tilden Houses, and she could have left Tilden Houses. That's the project there in Brownsville. She could have left Tilden Projects decades ago,
Mm-hmm.
but she refused to leave because said, "This is my home, and I have to take care of those who are less fortunate in our communities, the young people, and I have to take care of those seniors." And this is the human aspect of who we are. But we have lost that.
Yeah. Caring about each
Caring.
other.
That's it.
Caring
We've lost that.
love.
It's all about self care, but there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. But you can't be short sighted in just taking care of yourself and just thinking about others. Because when you drive a vehicle, they always say you're not driving the vehicle for yourself, you're driving the vehicle for the next individual or the next driver. Because this is a collective that we have to work together, and we choose not to. We just choose to be individual. Individual. Just want to concentrate on our individuality
Reality. Mm-hmm.
instead of knowing that this has to be a collective. When we move forward in unison, we can move mountains, and everything is possible. But we get in our way all the time. That's something to say, Andre?
I was just thinking about what you said about moving in unison, and I'm thinking about young people, and even for my class, I was talking to the students about family,
Right.
right? And so I'm telling them, when I was growing up, we people always like to bring our experiences. Like when I was growing up, and the kids, the minute you say that, they're like, "Oh my gosh!"
Mhm.
So I'm talking to them about family, and I'm like, the young man next to you is your brother, or the young lady next to you is your sister.
Right.
And I say that, and they're like, "No, what?" They start acting like, "No, what are we talking about here?" I was just trying to really illustrate how I care for you, and that care in itself translates to that familyhood of it all. But because of how on TV young people are so engaged in a lot of what they're seeing on TV, and a lot of what they're seeing brings like drama. Drama entertains, and often that drama shows conflict between people all the time. So it's just like, how can I be a unity here when media is showing me a lack of it, right? And then going back to our politicians, right? The last few big elections, really, it wasn't showing much familial understanding. Like, yeah, this is competition. Yeah, we trying to win the people, but then now the insults, right? The back and forth, Twitter fingers. It's like I'm not seeing that, So leading by example for a lot of young people to feel unity and really recognize that there's a togetherness to achieve a goal. They have to also see it. So
A couple of people actually posted. So we want to say good evening. If we didn't call you, forgive us. Gloria, Simone, Warren, Jennifer.
Oh, my sister Jennifer Joseph. Jennifer, man, that fete that you had on New Year's Day was beautiful. That's right, she had a fete on New Year's Day.
all right, hold on. Sorry. Applaud. The big man is about to come in.
Clive O'Brien.
Ready?
Good evening to
Ready?
you.
Ready?
You're not ready. Keep him out. Oh, how you doing, Roger? It's a blessing to see you.
Sorry about the lighting.
God bless. We don't hear you.
I wish there was something else I could do about the lighting. Let me turn. I'm going to leave one meeting.
I wish God granted for New Year's.
What's going on? What's going on, John? Big John, Dr. Bryant. What's going on?
Always got to blow my sister up, my big sister up.
Yeah.
Thank you for your comment.
It wasn't a big fete. It was just a small.
I see my cousin. Can you guys hear me?
Midday from noon until the
Am I
next day,
muted?
right? Hey, Miss Waldron, how are you? That's right. I'm gonna keep fighting for the people.
You like you're lagging.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, here's a comment. He is late. Yes, he is late.
Yeah, I'm hearing you and all that, but it seems like you're lagging.
He's late on definitely.
All right, let me try it from the phone.
Yeah, you're right, Jennifer. He is on vacation again.
My sister's getting married.
So we're having a little technical difficulties on this end. So we apologize about the noise you're hearing. And Andre's behind the scene trying to figure out what is happening. And then our great leader cannot connect. I don't know.
Well,
He's
since he can't
there.
collect, moving right along. G. Hutch. Read the quote, Doc.
The system is set up in a way that doesn't allow us to see past our own struggles. If we could, we would see how working together would make it easier to overcome those struggles. 100%. I agree with you. It is many. There's when we unite together and put our minds in deciding that we're going to make a change and we want change to happen, we get it done. And there's power in unity. So I completely agree with you, G. Hutch.
But we must love ourselves first, G Hutch. We gotta love ourselves first. We despise one another so much. Instead of applauding someone who succeeds, we want to nitpick, find something negative to say about them. Big Mo, what's up, Big Mo? It's always a blessing, Mo. How you doing, Mo? And Happy New Year.
You know,
Big Mo.
yeah, a lot's been happening before the beginning of this year, the turnover, the 30th, the 31st. We had the Pope that passed away.
Condolences.
Yeah.
Pope Benedict.
Yeah, he died at 95. Well, he lived a wonderful, good life. And
Pele passed away.
Pele passed away. Then you have Barbara Walters who passed away on the 30th at 93. So, they lived good, long lives. And she was able to make an impact
On many women in broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Many. She made many women in broadcasting. And this is what villages, this is what we're talking about, leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And leadership's, a good leader is able to inspire those who feel they may not have that quality, but you give them the inspiration to push forward. You're an example to them. This is what happens when you continue to not be on the grind, but continue to accept the grace of God.
All right.
You like that, Dr. Ryan?
That was correct. Like my pastor would say, grind means working hard on the sweat. It's more like a curse when people say it, because you're working with sweat and everything. Not saying that you don't work with sweat, but why should it be difficult when
God thumbs up when you're ready
with everything that you need? So let's see, G. The thing is the fact that many of us see the world through our struggles and are so stick in that perspective that when someone comes along and attempts to show us a different perspective, we aren't letting go of our narrow views in order to see a bigger picture. This is why I work with children that aren't as jaded.
G, this is exactly, if you think about it, this is exactly what the fight is about with the Republicans in selecting the speaker, because they're saying that they want to offer a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
However, those who are in positions, who intend to be positions, they don't want to be open to that different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes back to the point of just being open-minded. We have differences. Let's embrace our differences, but we have a lot more in common than we have differently. And we need to take our personal feelings out of this and understand who we represent. We represent the people. And what would the people want? This is why it's so important that, we talk term limits is important, because people have become such an entrenched politicians. They have, instead of adopting the point of view of the constituents they represent, they adopt their own point of view, because they know that irrespective of the vote, they could be there for decades.
Absolutely. When you know that you have limited time to make a change and impact as many as possible, you work hard. When you know that, hey, I have 10 years and they're still going to vote for me, I could do anything I want to, but they'll still support me,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not going to put effort, you're not going to work hard for it.
You're not going to work hard for it at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Sophia said, say that again about Barbara Walters.
You know what? Barbara Walters was a true icon
Mm-hmm.
because she paved the way for so many other sisters, women,
Mm-hmm.
to be considered anchors.
And before she became an anchor, she had to fight to actually get to that level.
Of
When I
course.
was listening to her documentary, her co-host didn't even want to be bothered with her, cut her off, constantly fighting. But you know what? She sat there with grace until her opportunity came.
She was the first woman anchor to make what? Have a salary
NBC,
of
and
$1
then
million.
Yeah,
And this
so
was during the 70s, now, correct?
So,
Mhm.
yeah. Oh, 12 round and still nothing, Jennifer?
12 rounds, they just the heavyweight champion. Heavyweight, they're going round 15.
Hey, Roderick, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
What's going on?
I don't know why there's a delay in link.
We don't know what's happening. What
Oh,
is
it's lagging.
Send me the link on.
where,
Send me the link.
where are you?
On
I'm in Jamaica.
vacation.
You're here, but we can't hear you.
I'm in Jamaica.
Roderick, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to cancel you tonight. 'Cause we can't hear you.
Oh, something is up here. Jennifer wrote something. I heard Roddy is going to break the impasse. Oh, you're in Albany?
It's not in Albany. You in DC, baby? You in DC? You gonna try to get those? You gonna try to get those votes to Kevin
DC.
McCarthy?
I said Albany, yes, forgive me. DC.
You're the secret weapon, Roger. You're the secret weapon.
Oh, he's in Jamaica. Yes. Hearing, hold on. Hearing you loud and clear. Oh, so they can hear, Roger?
Yeah, he's just lagging.
Oh, so we can't hear you in the studio. That's so
Yeah.
crazy. Roger,
Yeah.
you're in Jamaica. They say.
Them to log off and log on somewhere.
Log back off and log back in. So for some reason we're not connecting. So a little technical difficulties. We apologize
Right.
about that.
Go back to Barbara Walters.
So our listeners, you're welcome to call in at any point, and join us on what, Freestyle Thursday?
Freestyle Thursday, bring it on.
Not,
The number.
I was about to say it's not Freestyle Thursday because it's the beginning of the year. I want to say it's Monday. It's the beginning of the year.
Somebody, what were you drinking today? That he thinks today's Monday. I would not be here. So if you want to call in, call 718-841-9980. Again, 718-841-9980. You're welcome to do so.
What's lagging toward?
So he's
Also,
done,
congratulations to Governor Hochul. Congratulations to Letitia James for their being sworn in.
So, you know, I love the fact that we have female.
Good evening, Ms. Porter. Yeah, we definitely got a lot. It's always powerhouse, women in the house.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now we need some serious, truthful individuals to come up. You know who I'm talking about?
What are you talking about?
The one that's waiting to be sworn in.
Oh,
Santos, nigga. Oh, shit. Oh.
I'm calling up.
Hey, let me tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, my villagers, how the hell did the Democrats miss that? This guy is like he's a complete fabrication.
Can you guys hear me now?
Does George Santos really exist?
Just a little. Can you do that again, Roger?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear him. Yeah, I hear him. So.
No. How come we can't hear him on the radio?
I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Thing. You don't hear him in the studio. It's probably his thing, really.
Well, you know, getting back to Mr. Santos, Roderick, the I don't even know if in fact his name is really George Santos.
Hold on, Roger, say something.
What's going on?
Oh, finally.
Oh shit! Finally, damn.
Yeah,
John.
John.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Happy
guys,
New
man. I
Year.
keep forgetting, man. I'm sorry.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna get
you're
a word
John.
wall for John.
No,
I'll put a word wall up there, man.
I need
Designs and everything.
I need Simone. Simone, I need for you to get a John for that, man. This is about the second time in a row he did in less than 3 minutes. Right?
You know what? I cannot help if that is my passion when I come into this room and we talk about topics that really
We all have the passion.
that really leave an impression on my heart.
Put the word shucks in your vocabulary.
It ain't nothing about shucks, man. What am I saying shucks for?
Yeah,
When it's
but
the word is,
John, you hit the nail on the head, man.
oh shit, he said I hit the nail on that. Can you believe that?
How did the Democrats miss George and Santos? And you know, all the things that's happening now, what are they gonna do? They're threatening to put charges on him in Brazil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So to try to get him back for
You know, I should change my name. Let me be George Santos, the real George Santos. Please stand up.
no, I don't think you want to do that. I think you're fine with me, John Sampson. What do you think?
I agree with you.
John L. Sampson, not just John Sampson.
It's just insane how this guy was able to pull the wool over that entire district, you know, and the Democrats, I blame on the Democrats because this is opposition research 101.
That's why we need a new state chair.
But it's not just the Democrats, though. It's the Republicans, too.
Because they accepted his money. They ain't
Right.
have no problem.
But I'm talking about in his district, the people that ran against
But
him.
no, because the Republicans are what they're clannish. They understand anybody, any Republican except for a Democrat, and that's what it was all about. They, you know, even Kevin McCarthy. And this is another reason why he's not going to become speaker. Because if I was him, I wouldn't want a person like that in my party. I can't trust you.
He didn't say anything. He was mum.
He was just concerned about the guy's vote. And this is what I talk about, Kevin. This is why he's having such a hard time, because he has no backbone, he has no soul, he has no core. Whatever which way the wind is blowing, that's the way Kevin McCarthy will go.
Well, he shouldn't.
I think that black woman, right? That black woman who what is she? The what do you call her? We call her the sergeant at arms. Is that what you call her? What do you call her down there? In Washington. She's more famous. She's doing the right thing. Maybe she needs to move to Queens and Long Island and run for office, because she seems quite knowledgeable. Unlike George Santos, who's just a big-headed loser, right?
He ain't no loser, brother.
Clerk,
Very smart man. He pulled the wool over everybody's eyes.
And some of the Democrats voted for him. They switched parties to vote for him. So,
let me tell you, he's openly gay. He's a Republican.
Hold on. How do we even know that, Roger?
He was married for 5
Well, I mean, there's proof that he's gay, right? I don't know if he's
there's proof that
he was
worked at Goldman Sachs too, right?
No. Married, and then later on, he did have a relationship with a young guy. He did.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, we don't know what's going on in his bedroom, right? So we can't account for that. You're right, John. Right? So, but
and we don't care.
Right, but at the end of the day, there is no objection to the fact that he's openly gay. Whether it's one of his scheme.
I don't know if he's openly gay. I can't tell you that.
It could be one of his scheme, though, along with the other stuff that he's doing, right?
That's what I'm saying.
He's lied about everything else, but there's something. The reason why I brought that up is that he was able to to utilize sympathy votes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you got the sympathy votes, the LGBTQ community,
The
right?
Jews. He
Right.
said
A
he.
lot of people out there supported him on that. So he got some votes on that. He got some votes because the community was in turmoil,
Right.
right? You got to think about this. This young man is 34 years old, right? Have no political experience
Mm-hmm.
to gain that seat, kind of like Donald Trump,
Mm-hmm.
right? To
He
become
might be his son.
right. And people need to start understanding. I'm not saying being 34 is a problem, right? I just feel like people need to, like you say, John, do a better job of vetting people, going through the channels. If the Republicans are going to nominate, because now the Democrats look like they didn't do their homework, but the Republicans look stupid,
They didn't do any homework either.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They look stupid too, because now you're backing a candidate for an office that is clearly underqualified, a liar, a criminal,
Mm-hmm.
and has a very high position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because technically he's in line to become president of the United States. I mean, he's very far down, but technically he is.
You know what? You're like one of these reporters, Roger. That when a guy comes in, he gets arrested, he goes before the court, he's looking at 50 years, knowing damn well that he ain't going to do 50 years. You'd be lucky to get 5 years.
Yep, that's true. The hope really is that he doesn't this shenanigans go on long enough that he doesn't get sworn in.
You know what? The Jews are upset as well because he said that his family were
He is Jewish. What does Jewish mean? I have no idea. What's that mean?
No, because I think Joanne is just talking about the fact that he gained all those votes.
Yeah, but when he says he was Jewish,
and then he said he lied.
I know.
And then he said his mom died
Too old.
from after she was around
At the,
the towers,
At the
9/11.
9/11. She died in 2015.
It's not even funny. He said his mom was in charge of a $1 million company. She was not. So a lot of things, he said, everything seemed as though it's lies. And some of the Democrats who actually asked others to vote and cross party lines, they said they feel duped. So that was interesting. Very, very interesting. So he's sitting there. He's afraid to talk to anyone. So what do? They asked to adjourn. Huh. What number? Number 12 after vote number 12 failed? Jennifer?
This shit is insanity.
No. Oh, that's a lie too. Okay. I don't know. So the next one, Sam.
You're talking about the football player?
No, Sam Bankman Fried.
No, the football player, the one that
Yeah, Mr. Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, you know what?
Well, thank God he's getting better. That's the most important part.
Well, what happened on Monday? Could you tell everybody, the audience, what happened?
You tell them.
Basically, what happened is during a football game on Monday in Cincinnati, it was the Bills against the Bengals.
Yeah.
A young man named Mr. Hamlin, who was a safety for the Buffalo Bills, went to tackle one of the Bengals players. And after the hit, he jumped right back up, and then a couple of seconds later, he collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that when he collapsed, that his heart, because of the contact, he went into cardiac arrest.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, he had to be resuscitated. And therefore, once he was resuscitated, they had to take him to the hospital. He's listed in critical condition. However, he has been trending on the right way. From what I hear now is he's awakened. because they had to put him in a coma so he could deal with his breathing. But he's come to the point now where he's able to breathe. I don't know if he's able to breathe without the oxygen, but they're slowly weaning him off of this.
Yeah, that's, you know what? I appreciate that they stopped everything to take care of this young
Yes,
man.
yes.
That I give kudos to the NFL.
Roger Goodell. And also Roger Goodell. And the players.
And the way that they shield him and cover him,
Mhm.
huddle around him so that they can, do the CPR.
And the
That was
prayers.
awesome.
And the prayers.
Yeah, and the kneeling.
And it just shows you how we have so much in common.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much in common.
Right. But why does it take tragedy for people to actually decide, oh, he had a toy drive, let's donate to it? Why does it take for someone getting injured or close to death to say, hey, the fight that he was fighting was an important one.
Mhm.
Let's contribute, let's support him. Why does it take somebody passing away to say, hey, you know what? That cause that they were doing,
Mhm.
maybe we should take a look at it.
So, I think it definitely goes back to
Roger's
And-
not
and-
saying nothing?
because I'm gonna send the link to him from his phone. But I think it shows people the possibility of their own mortality, right?
Right,
Like
right.
it makes people really recognize their own mortality. So I mean, yeah, the toy drive was there, but it's like people probably didn't really look at it like, oh, this is just toy drive. A bunch of people doing toy drive too. So it's like when something becomes so popular, it's like a drug, right? More it is being used and everything, your body gets so used to it. Now you have to try and get, a better fix in a sense.
Did they contribute out of fear that he was gonna die?
I think it was just feeling empathy, right? Feeling that empathy in a sense, really, and hoping that he gets out of it, from a positive angle, really.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's like if that was me, I would want people to help me out because maybe they're thinking maybe the money is needed too. What about his family?
Right,
All
right.
those things. So
Mhm.
Empathy and mortality, I think, play that role.
Now, what do you-
Humanity.
What do you think's gonna happen when he comes home,
Hmm.
and he will, and thank God that he didn't die.
Amen.
When he comes home, do you think the NFL will continue to support him because he got injured?
What do you mean, like support him? And
Well, I doubt he's gonna go back. You think he's gonna go back?
I don't know.
I feel like he's gonna go back. I feel like he might get convinced to go back. I mean,
Mm,
on the business side of it all, my thing is that they suspended.
yeah,
they,
but
they
the thing
but
is,
it took so long to say, all right, cancel out and everything. So it's like,
but now he's high risk. If he gets tackled the same way again, the same thing might happen.
um,
So,
I mean-
do you think the NFL will continue to support him or continue to pay out his contract because he did get injured while playing
Yes,
line of duty?
yes.
I don't know. I can't.
No,
I don't know.
no.
I,
They
I,
will pay.
I think so that they would, but I don't know.
They,
What your thought?
they will pay out his contract. This contract, they'll pay it out. Um, they'll pay out his contract for the entire duration of the contract, and the NFL will cover a significant amount of what he has to do over the lifetime because he got injured playing sports. He didn't get injured outside doing something else, the physical contact. But I want to go to something that Andre said, right?
Mhm.
About taking the long time to finish the sport. When you really think about it, right? The game was watched by an estimated 24 million people.
Right.
You really have to look at money, right? 24 million people, and for them to cancel that game and the amount of money that the NFL lost is obscene,
Yeah, fair point.
right?
Fair point.
So even though somebody's health is at risk and the world came to their knees because when you listen to some of his colleagues, right, right, when you listen to some of his colleagues, and when I say colleagues, other football players that's not on his team, right? When you listen to them and how it brought in their own mortality,
Mhm.
that's an issue for me. That's that when I said issue in a good way, right? Issue in a good way. Like you really see the human side of these athletes. Next thing I want to talk about is like everybody's they brought God into the situation, right?
Mhm.
Everybody was taking the knee, praying. But when you go, they want to take God out of school. They want to take God out of this. They want to take God out of that. And the man gets injured. And
When
now
it
you,
comes to death,
right?
when it comes to, they
Right?
understand the power of prayer.
All of a sudden, everybody needs God. I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm thinking it shouldn't be at that point alone.
Mhm.
We need to stop having these arguments of removing God from out of things until you're in a desperation. Now, all of a sudden, God is important.
So
So that was
they
one
ask
thing.
people to
Right there.
pray, right?
It's important for the prayer. I'm not saying no.
Right,
I'm just
right.
saying
So you don't know
the
what God they were praying to. There's so many different gods too. They said
well,
pray,
I think they
pray.
were I think they were just praying to the one God.
Don't assume. Don't
but
assume.
I mean, I think the point, yeah, the point is just like you're praying to something higher than yourself, bigger than yourself.
Mhm.
Right.
And Roderick made a good point about the NFL losing the money, a certain amount of money. And I think, for a lot of people, we don't understand that side, that business side
But
itself.
if they did not
So,
react,
mm,
and God forbid that boy had died, that man had died,
mhm.
it would be losing more money because you have people turn away from the whole game.
Yeah, no, I mean I understand that, but you still have people on the other side too. Like you have some fanatics out there who don't even care, right? It's just like let the game keep going, like, and you're just like,
No, I don't think. No, people were upset that the game stopped because they said they'd never heard such hush and silence, and to see how everything happened, I think they were more shocked
mm,
to see. Oh, shucks, he got up and they realized the seriousness of it all. Yeah, you could be a fanatic, you could be all of that, but at the end of the day, all the parties came together. Both sides came together and was wishing him well.
Right.
So it wasn't about the game no more.
mm.
So your life is more important than a game or a ticket that you could get a refund for or go to another game. Yes, there's money
Please
you
stop.
bring back
Please stop.
someone.
But I still have to say though. I still have to say though,
That heavy.
even if there's a small amount, you still have people that don't even care. I mean, look at what's been happening even in New York City here, where people just push other people off the train. They don't even care and all that.
Look at the guy who had the machete.
Wait, what did you say, Roger?
I was just simply saying that I'm just simply saying that the thing that drives us every day, right? The thing that drives us every day, the economic component of our life is very important.
Right.
That's when on this show, when we talk about generational wealth, right? We don't necessarily talk about generational health, right? We talk about you being healthy, but we don't talk about generational health. So you can't just look at it like, yes, nobody wants to see anybody come close to death.
Right.
Nobody wants to see that. But the NFL, the NBA, the Major League Baseball,
right,
these people play because they make a substantial amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just negate it and not look at the financial component, because the Super Bowl makes the most money every year of any sport. One commercial is like $1 million alone. The amount of Super Bowl parties, Domino's make money like there's no tomorrow. Bars make money. So the fact of the matter is, it's money first, health second. That's the reality.
I
There's
disagree. I understand what you're
No, no.
saying, but I disagree. In that
No, from the
moment,
personal, no, from your personal perspective, from you, it's about the health and life.
that day on Monday, it was about the life.
No, because they stopped the game. Because remember, the reaction to people will be different.
Yeah. If they continue to play and a man died,
Yeah,
that would have been a problem.
no, but did you hear all of the complications about playing that game? They were still thinking about continuing the game because the financial component of sports is number one. It's not number two. It's number one. You're in it to make money. Period. So yes, we feel for Damar Hamlin. But the NFL is, you think they're going to stop the season? Because if you were to, God forbid, something happens worse, you think the Bills are going to stop their season?
I don't think they'll be able to play the way that.
Let me ask you a question again. If anything were to happen to Damar Hamlin further than what has happened, and God forbid, I've heard the news. I don't know anything different from what I heard before I left. And when I was listening to it on the airplane, that he was improving, and I hope that continues, right?
Mhm.
If it goes reverse, do
Mhm.
you think the Bills will stop the game and not play for the rest of the season?
And his first question.
That's the question.
If what happened, Roger, what's the hypothetical now?
If, God forbid, it goes the opposite direction of where it's going now,
Mm-hmm.
do you think the Bills will stop their season?
Yeah.
I
No,
think both parties, because the other team.
no, not the other team. The other team is not a
I
factor.
think both of them.
No, I don't think the other team is not a factor anymore. I'm talking about, will the Bills stop? Will the NFL stop their games for the rest of the season? God forbid Damar Hamlin goes the other direction.
Mm.
No,
Yvette said yes, and that's a fact. They
no,
would.
no, stop. I just posted it. His first question when he woke up. This is like what, 2 hours ago. First question when he woke up: did we win? The man is still in the game. Did we win?
Exactly.
Did we win? Huh? So yeah, there's that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But you know what? Hopefully they take a look at protecting the players a lot more. Maybe something harder against their chest, because certain impact and certain hits will trigger some heart issues. So maybe that's something that they need to take a look at.
Right.
How to protect our players if you're going to want them to continue to play and play aggressively. How can we fully protect them? Not only their heads, not only their whatever, knees or whatever, their legs or whatever, but also their heart.
Right.
So that is something that I think they need to start looking into. What's your thought?
My thought is this. Thank God a young man is improving.
Yes.
Hey, John, the boss is going to be watching the show. All right. I'm just telling you. He just called me.
The boss?
Yeah, the boss.
Who's
The bigger boss. The bigger boss than me.
Who's that? Oh, the wife.
Oh, no, not my wife is right here. She's listening. Bishop Harden.
Bishop. How you doing, Bishop?
Yeah, he'll be on in a little bit. We're both. He's actually here on missionary work.
Mm.
So,
Where are you?
I'm in Jamaica.
Oh, okay. So our listeners were correct.
Yeah, but I said I was in Jamaica. I'm here. My sister's getting married on Saturday.
God bless. God bless her.
Yeah.
Finally, it's about time.
Congratulations.
Right?
You're always rushing somebody. Come on, man.
No, I wasn't rushing her.
Lord have mercy.
Listen, are you listening?
Everything happens at its time. Okay,
No, I'm not saying
perfect
that.
time.
This is my third trip down here for her wedding.
Well, that's your fault. You just wanted to hang out. So stop blaming it on your sister. It's not
Yeah,
that. Please, you
right,
just wanted to hang out.
right. This is my
Uh-huh.
third. This is my third trip for the wedding, so she better be getting married. Because if not,
Ladies and gentlemen, you hear
I'm
his
gonna kill both
excuse this
she and her
time, right?
and her fiance.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This time, oh, it's a wedding that I have to go to. This is the third time I'm coming to the wedding.
This is
Lies. Just say you're on vacation, my
the
friend.
last time I came down. June was for the wedding, but
Mhm.
I mean, I knew 2 weeks before that she wasn't getting married, but I was already coming down. So I
Can
just
you not put all her business out on broadcast? Just say you were on vacation and call it a day. Because we know that's what you do. Thank you.
no, she's getting married. What was that? My sister can't get married.
But you don't have to say, oh, in June she didn't decide, blah, 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 blah. Nobody, don't do that. Don't do
Whatever.
that. Don't
So
do
don't be
that.
telling me I'm
Don't
on
do that.
vacation.
Don't do that. You are
By the
on
way,
vacation.
Dr. Brian, my boss agrees with you. She's over there saying, "Yeah, doc. Thank you, doc. Thank you, doc."
Yeah, just okay. You're going to
No,
wedding, great,
whatever.
and
All
that's
right,
it. No more.
I'll take your advice. I'll stop.
Thank you so much,
Oh gosh.
Lord.
All right. Yeah, I was watching something. The guy. I don't know if you guys talk about that. He's 28 years old. The one that that allegedly killed the 4 people
Oh, the Idaho.
in Idaho.
He was a criminologist. Yes.
Yeah. And the cops pulled him over 2 times. So here's my question.
At the direction of, I think, at the direction of the police, either the feds, they told him to pull up, they wanted to just look at his hands, take a picture of the hands to see if there was cuts or anything on it, because it seems that they picked him up from DNA that was left at the scene, off of a knife sleeve.
Yeah, but my thing is, here's my question: there's no national alert.
I'm glad you said that because just like he didn't have a national alert from the feds, New York City didn't have a national alert of the young man with the machete that attacked the 3 police officers with the machete. So there was a lack of communication on both ends on people who commit severe crimes.
I don't understand what you're talking about, Doc.
You don't understand what?
What you just said. What?
He said there's no alert from the feds.
There should have been an alert for this guy.
Yeah, if they suspected that he was.
Yeah, and he got pulled over. So he got pulled over by the police 2 times after allegedly he was the culprit for this crime.
But they wanted him to pull over because they wanted to look at his hands.
No, one pulled him over. I don't know what one I know pulled him over because he was driving too close.
But Roger, I agree with all of that. But that was their plan. They told him to pull him over, whether he was close or not. But that was the justification because he was too close. Because they wanted to take a copy of his hands, a picture of his hands, to see if in fact there were any injuries on his hands.
Okay, were there any?
They didn't mention any.
Okay, they were supposed to disclose the reasons today why they allege that he's the culprit, right? I got to look that up and see.
They said it's DNA.
It's DNA.
Yeah, they found his DNA, and that's how they were able to.
His DNA in the crime scene.
So that's how they were able to link it to him. And then he made a couple of comments on some social media platform about how to get away with murder, but it was taken back to fraternities to try to tie it to a fraternity. So it's really something. But going back to what you said about the lack of communication, our police commissioner mentioned the same thing, that they were never notified that the young 19-year-old boy who had the machete that attacked the 3 police officers on the head on
The
New
feds were
Year's
looking.
Eve.
The feds were looking at him.
Yeah, but never said anything to
Never
New
said
York
that. Yeah,
City.
he was, you know,
So they weren't
because
tracking
his
him.
parents had brought it to their attention that, you know, he was getting indoctrinated to be
So that's a problem.
What is that? The
the Muslim.
machete.
Trinitarios. The Trinitarios. Those are the ones who use machetes a lot.
No. This
That's
is
a
a
19-year-old
19-year-old from Maine, homeboy. From
that
Maine.
came in. He wanted
No,
to
but
attack
you said
police
he was
officers.
getting. You said he was getting indoctrinated into the gang.
Not gang.
Mm.
Not
Terrorists.
gang. Yeah.
Terrorism.
Taliban, the Taliban.
Yeah.
Wow.
He thought he was gonna die that evening. And I'm glad that they didn't kill him so that he can say, hey, you know what?
Why all the white guys get saved, man, and not killed? Why the black guys got to get killed? You know what's going on, man? I got to ask that question, man. They should have killed him. I don't know, with a machete. You know, I was watching on the airplane today. I was watching a commercial for Law and Order, I think it was, and Law and Order. The woman, I forgot her name, right? And she was getting attacked by the 2 guys with machetes.
Mm.
Right. So it's like, you know, Law and Order, oftentimes a lot of their shows are based upon real cases.
True.
Right. Right. So when you brought that up, that reminded me, Dr. Bryant, about what I saw earlier today. So it's just real interesting what is happening out there. Let me ask you, John, let's go back to politics for a minute. Right? Let's go back to politics for a minute.
Okay.
What is your opinion of Donald Trump getting involved in the election of the speaker?
He should get involved. I would get involved because that speaker, you know, he's going to look for the speaker's assistance when he runs in the primary, in the Republican primary. So I would definitely get involved.
And that made some of the Republicans not vote for him more.
No,
Yeah.
same number. He got the same number. He got the same number. He's at between 200, 201.
What was the final vote that he got today?
200 from what in the 11th round. He got 200 votes.
So the number hasn't changed.
Nope.
And I swear to anybody. So my, you know,
It's going to change. I think, so.
it's Donald Trump is unusual with the first, right? He's, you know, the first president to do something stupid, the first president to do something, and he's one of the first presidents to actually directly get involved with the House Speaker, right? They don't get involved.
Right.
So I'm like, wow.
You should get involved. You need to get involved.
Come here.
Can you stay focused? Who you your wife?
Serenity, come here. Garcia, let me get Serenity. Let me show Serenity to the world. Bring Serenity. I don't care. She's all right. Come here. She's a baby. Come here, Serenity. I don't know why your mother named you Serenity. But
So, brother, go ahead. Let's go.
look at Serenity.
Beautiful.
Hi, Serenity.
Serenity.
Say hello. Look, say hello.
Pretty
Look,
young lady.
Look right there. Over there, Serenity. Don't look at me. Look right there. There you go. Say hi.
Hello.
Say hi. So this is my great niece. Right? I'm getting old when I have great nieces.
You didn't know you were old?
Yeah, just as old as you. Right?
Absolutely not.
She's actually a very quiet baby.
Oh, she's not from your side of the family.
Oh, she's definitely from my side. She's my great niece. Isn't she definitely from my side?
To Miss Sandra Alley, I'm not distracted. It's all because of Mr.
Oh, you don't want
You
to
have such a beautiful young
no,
lady.
Look, she's crying because I took her. Now she doesn't want to leave.
You see that? Definitely. That's why I'm being distracted, Miss Alley.
Go to Auntie Garcia. No, you don't want to go to Auntie Garcia? See? Look at that. I don't look at that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go to Auntie. Come take her. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Go to Auntie Garcia.
So,
Right.
mhm.
No. I was just thinking about. I was thinking about that. And then the second thing, when we're the other thing that a couple of things historical we're talking about. One of them is like the Pope. This is the first time in 600 years that a Pope, his funeral is presided over by another Pope. The first time in 600
Really?
years.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
the way that they laid him out like that with no casket or anything, that was kind of strange.
Well, I think it's customary
It's customary.
that they put the Pope, because remember the Pope is like a saint.
Mm.
And you remember how Jesus was laid out?
Yeah. And so, and so he was laid out regularly. 200,000 people came to see him. 200, right? Pope Benedict, right? 50,000 people at his funeral. I'm wondering, how does that compare to the Queen? Was it close?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Bye, Simone. We'll see you
Bye,
later.
Simone. Simone, you already missed half the church. What's the bother? Right? Tell us.
Simone, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Read the scripture verse to us, Simone. Right? I didn't get to read one today. So what's the scripture for today, Simone? Tell me the scripture. When you log into church, log back in, tell me the scripture and log back out.
Okay, so I'll shut it off.
So we can read it together.
Put it on the ground. I'll come up with it on the ground. It's okay.
Right? What else has happened that we missed?
A lot. A lot.
Your Brooklyn Nets, John, is doing very well.
You mean the Knicks, homeboy?
Those
Your-
Brooklyn Nets.
the Brooklyn
Knicks
Nets,
in the house.
Nets. He's
the
a Knicks fan.
the,
He's a
the
Knicks
Knicks,
fan.
the Knicks are doing extremely well. Right? So are the Nets are what they won like 10 or 11 in a row or something like that.
And the Giants are going to the playoffs. The daggone Jets are bombed out, but
Can you believe the Jets, man? They were 6-1 or 5-2 or something like that.
6-3, and they lost. Oh,
And they lost like the last 5 games.
The quarterback, the coach, it's just ridiculous.
I don't think it's a coach. I think it's the entire system. Because Herman Edwards made a comment years ago, right? And Herman Edwards' comment was you guys make it seem like the Jets has been a franchise team, right? A perennial superstar team. In the last 20 years, I think the Jets might have made the playoff one time. One time. And they made it under Herman Edwards, right? Before that, they won one Super Bowl, 1969, right? On a fluke. And they have never been back to the Super Bowl since 1959, 53 years. So think about that for a second. They're the only team in the NFL who have the Cleveland Browns might be next, who have not been to the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah. Every other team, maybe only the Browns, has not gone to the Super Bowl.
That's okay.
It's not the coach, John. Something got to change, and I think it has to come with management and put in the winning formula.
Which is a female coach, right?
No.
Huh? A female coach. I don't care if it's a female or male. I don't care as long as you
win.
As long as you win and know the sport. And look at that, John. Goes back to what we're talking about with DeMar Hamlin. It's about winning and money.
That's what it was. Well, in that night, it ceased everything, man.
Yeah, well, everything, the world stopped.
Yeah. Football, National Football League stopped.
Yeah.
And realized what's more important, the health of these individuals.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
say that again.
Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, I'm sending out my Super Bowl boxes, right? Because I'm doing a fundraiser. I'm trying to raise some money. My 2 kids have to play baseball. So, John, you're taking 5 boxes, right? How many you taking, Dr. Bryant?
Did I play last year on your thing?
I don't remember.
No.
I didn't.
No.
So, how many boxes
No.
you taking, Dr.
I'll take one.
Let's be honest.
You take 2? How many you taking on?
One.
It's $20 a box, man. Take 2.
I'll take one.
Okay. How many you taking, Andre? Andre.
Okay, we're not gambling on here. Let's move on.
It's not
So
gambling. Wait. You're the same one. Wait. You're the same one who said now that Damar Hamlin
an 11th House
is-
Speaker ballot as member vote to adjourn.
right? You're the same one who said in sickness they're all giving all these donations.
I don't know yet.
2 boxes. That's good,
Oh,
right?
he said he don't know. So anyway, let me ask you a question. Do you think that the college scammer mastermind should have received 3.5 years in federal prison?
Hell no.
Think he should have got more?
He should have got more. The snitch.
Which scammer? I didn't hear the question.
William Singer, the mastermind with the college scheme and put all these millionaires' kids who never played any of the sports into,
Oh, the play to get into
scrolling, college admission scam known as Operation Varsity Blues was sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prisons. Do you think he should have gotten more?
Who's that? Who's that one?
The one who created the scam.
Oh man, that cat should have just gotten this Singer. He should have gotten the book thrown at him. And you know what? I despise people like that. They engage into criminal activities. When they get busted, they want to all of a sudden engage in this truth saying that everyone else was involved in this. Accept responsibilities. You created them. You lured them in. You told them what they need to do. You took their money and you did what you had to do. You introduced this whole scam to them. And for you to only get 3.5 years, I'd lock that. Oh man. I would have locked that individual, that spineless individual. I would have locked them up for the max. Because I have no respect for people who engage in criminal activity, and in order to get themselves out of that engagement, they tend to want to tell what they know about someone else. Man up, dude. And Singer shouldn't be getting no 3.5 years. He should be doing the bulk of his time, minimum of 10 years. He created the whole scenario, and all of a sudden gets busted. Then he wants to bring everybody else in. As villagers, I tell my people at work this: misery loves company.
That's true. They do. But you know what? Hey, at any course, these parents wanted their kids in an Ivy League school.
Roger get muted
He's
or
not
something?
talking.
Right.
Roderick, you're talking?
No, I was. No, I'm saying I agree with John. I think he should have gotten more time because he's the mastermind, right? So even if they lessened his time because he brought some other people along, right? He should have spent more than 3.5.
Well, that's the price you pay. That's the price you pay.
You know what? I'm just reading on my feed right now.
What you reading?
So a woman, right? A woman that was charged for killing her 8-year-old. Just got released because it said that the son died by suicide.
She spent 8 years in prison?
Yeah, 2014, yeah. Multimillionaire.
Well, commercial.
And a woman just, right? A woman just killed her 8-year-old son in Utah. She was seeking a divorce from her husband and killed her son. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Village Radio Talk Show. We're brought to you by the Single Parent University, where we have open admissions, and the curriculum includes personal development, mindful parenting, support seminar, financial management, nutrition, and wellness. Program benefits that all that you get, you get free childcare, you get transportation, social support hub, resume and cover letter help, career exploration, and legal assistance.
Any water?
Please contact
I looked at
a
my
Single
phone.
Parent University at 646-779-6767.
My cold.
SBU 71441. Again, the Single Parent University, providing all of your needs. So to me, right? To me, I was just saying about the woman, Andre. Right? Thank you. So to me, a lot of this is just crazy about what's happening in our world.
Right.
Right? A lot of this what's happening in the world, this murder, suicide, these people selling each other out, what's going on. There's a new year, right? So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do differently?
Mm-hmm. What are we doing differently?
What do we plan to do differently?
Praise the Lord more. Thank our Father for just giving us another day, for waking us up in the morning, to watching over us. That's going to be my prayer. And just thank Him for the good times and thank Him for the bad times. Because during those bad times, I am able to look introspectively and find out who I am. Because it's all about His grace and mercy.
It's funny. I really was thinking about Dubai, the United Emirates, and I feel like Americans have too many freedoms.
My father would always say that.
Right. I just feel like it's just too much freedom in America, and having so much freedom causes too many problems because people start off with, I am free to do what I am free. This is America. It's a free country. I can do what I want.
And
when you start thinking like that, you don't think of consequences for behaviors. Right? So to me, I think America has too much freedom. I think the system needs to kind of change.
So what kind of system are you trying to advocate, right?
Exactly.
I'm trying to advocate.
Don't be like a Republican. You want a leader, but you don't know who you want as leader.
No, I want a leader that is stronger than what we have. I just think the Constitution gives people too much freedom. You have the right to bear arms. You have the right to religion. You have the right to this. You have the right to vote. You have the right to say no. It's too many rights too.
Logic. If you want to,
You sound like a Republican.
if you believe that is, then you need to stay in Jamaica where you're at.
Well, Jamaica is worse. Jamaica is worse.
It's
in Jamaica, the PNP blame the labor right.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they do. They blame each other.
Sounds like Guyana. The
right.
PPP and PNC.
Right. That's all they do in Jamaica. And nobody wants to do better because it's the PNP's fault when the JLP is in power. And when the JLP is in power, it's the PNP fault. And in reality, it's the people's fault. The people don't care about life. The people behave badly. Right?
What?
So Jamaica is worse than the United States. Worse.
Nah, son.
Do you understand that per capita in Jamaica has more killings than New York, California, Pennsylvania put together?
No, I never heard of that. That's interesting.
Okay? Think about that, what I just said. Jamaica has more murders than 3 of the largest states in the country.
3 of the largest what in the country?
States. And Jamaica doesn't have as many people as Brooklyn.
True, I agree with you.
So think about what I'm saying. Already last year, they finished the year about 1,500 murders.
Mhm.
So that's straight lawlessness. And I don't know how many murders has started off already for this year.
Mm.
But over
Jamaica,
1,500
so
over 1,500 murders. Imagine if there are 1,500 murders in Brooklyn, John. What that would look like. What kind of chaos that would be.
Total chaos, my brother.
So Jamaica ain't no better,
I hurt my friend.
right? So to me, it's just too many. That's why I think about Dubai. I think about Iraq.
So
I
move to
think about-
Dubai.
I think about Qatar.
but
They don't
there's
have any
another
violence.
guy who was talked about it too.
Huh?
I said this is coming from Rajic, who's talked about Rajic,
Arrangement.
you've spoken about how people complain about America so much,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the only place they can really do it.
Right.
So in a sense, really, you sound like them though. But I don't disagree or necessarily agree, because when there's a lot of freedom, and I do love the freedom, by the way, right? You know, in America, you're able to do a lot of things really back home. We'll be
That's
able to do so many things, but I can see where when you have a lot of freedom, one of the things that I think you buy away from is general truth. Like, what's the general truth of something? Like, so now you might have people who will say, "This is my truth." And, you know, you're free to say that. Carry on. And then, of course, now you have where if you disagree with their truth, you're a problem. So,
And
you know, that's
it
where
becomes the attack.
yeah. So,
Mm-hmm. That is the cancel culture.
Yeah,
That's exactly what we talk about. If you don't agree with my ideology, then I'm gonna cancel you.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You know, I think I think people have to start looking at the Bill of Rights as things that you're not allowed to do. So you rephrase what you say, like you have the right not to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that would start helping because, yeah, I don't have the right to say what I want to say about John. I don't have the right to say what I want to say about Dr. Mike or Andre or Sophia. I don't. Because that right that I feel, then what? I have the right to knock you out.
Yeah, sometimes it becomes a violation because your
Yes.
mouth never ends.
Right.
So that's the thing. You don't know when to stop, you don't know when to go or whatever. And then the way that someone might react based on what you actually state will be the consequence of that right. Freedom of speech, there's a limit to freedom of speech.
Listen, I was just, you know, it's Dr. Bryant, you were talking about Damar Hamlin earlier
Mm-hmm.
and how the emotional component stopped the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
People misbehave because of the emotional component. And that emotional component is triggered, right, by somebody's words and actions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to react to. You get what I'm saying? You tell a Jamaican about their mama, it's almost deadly.
Well, you have road rage on the street of New York City,
all of those
and that
things,
could be deadly too.
yeah, but I'm just saying all of those things are emotional, right? They're based upon a behavior. So what I'm saying to people is like, you can't say that you have the right to say what you want, because then you're going to stir up my negative emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to react to my negative emotion. because now you have caused me internal anguish, and that's what I'm reacting to. So we have to be careful, right? I mean, I understand the cancel culture, but you also have to understand you're not allowed to say what you want
So now go
or
back
do
to,
what you want.
I love what you just segued us into. So when we had the former president state that um, COVID was a China thing, it came from China, whatever. And then people went around and attacked all of the Asians. They might not have been Chinese or anything, but because of the words that he spoke, caused crazies to go and react. Because of the words he spoke about winning the election, caused the insurrection. So now we have Europe, because of their fear of COVID
Hmm.
and what's happening in China right now, they put in some travelers regulation that they will not be allowed to travel unless they show a negative COVID testing again. So I know that it's just for Chinese, from people traveling from China. So do you think that that is a contribution of what you stated? So is that, how would you put it? Are they being unjust to people coming from China? Yes,
Hmm.
there is a COVID outbreak, but there's a COVID outbreak in Jersey right now. There's one in Pennsylvania. It's coming around again. Do we only discriminate against those coming from China just because of fear of maybe triggering it back to what our former president stated? What do you think, Roderick?
Um, I do agree because he had a following, right? Just like tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of the January 6th at the January
What?
6th.
Wait. You said 1 year. It's more than a year, my friend.
No, it's
It's
1 year.
no the
Oh,
insurrection. 2021,
2021, the 2 year anniversary.
Okay.
I keep thinking 2022, but it's 2021, the second 2 year anniversary, right?
Hmm.
Words matter,
Yes, it does.
right? Words matter. And if
Matters a lot.
people have, I was watching somebody sent me a TED talk, right? They sent me a
Hmm.
TED talk, and it's talking about the white supremacists and their thought process, right? And how they view blacks,
Mm.
right? And how generationally they were taught about being black, right? So they made statements generationally
Hmm.
that bred racism,
Hmm.
right? So let's give you a good example. So going back, because it's all come back to what your action, what your words say, right?
Hmm.
They
Yep.
used to put the white man who couldn't, because it was only the rich white people who owned slaves, it wasn't the poor ones, right? They might have
Correct.
had helpers or whatever the case is, right? So what they did with the white man was they made them put them in charge of the slaves because they made them so even though they were poor trash whites, they were in charge of slaves. So that means that they were better than the blacks.
Hmm.
So I'm going to teach you that I'm going to tell you that you're better. I'm going to keep doing these actions. Donald Trump told people that it was a Chinese virus.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if I have certain prejudice
Hmm.
or racial tension with Chinese, and you're telling me that you're empowering me,
Or racial bias.
there
Hmm.
you go.
Hmm.
So they have to be careful. We have to be careful,
But this is your new rule,
right? Because
traveling
again,
rule. Hmm.
my comment is you have the right not to,
Hmm.
not the right to. So you
Hmm.
have the right not to remain silent,
Hmm.
not to speak. You have the right. You have the right not to do something, right?
Hmm.
Because freedom is not without its limitations.
Mm.
Correct. 100%.
Yep.
Well said, Roger. Well said.
without limitation.
So you know,
So
um,
now, when we think of freedom for the nurses to get paid and to have safety, and to have more the hospitals for the patients that have enough people to care for them. So they should be free to strike.
There's a
Yes, because their health, their well-being,
Mm-hmm.
the safety of the
It's
patients
true.
are at risk. Now the Uber drivers should be free strike. Because they want an increase. They were given an increase, but guess what? Uber did not give them that. The transportation department did not give them that. So, oh, you're welcome, Deidre, because people don't understand. I'm gonna go back to the nurse, the doctors. Many times people don't understand the importance of those roles until you're in the hospital, until you're on the front line. And they're on the front line every day. Um, COVID exposed how vulnerable they were and how important their roles are on a daily basis. So I agree, safety is important.
Mm-hmm.
Having enough people, one nurse should not be doing the role of 10 different individuals. But we're being charged as though 10 different individuals
Mm-hmm.
are taking care of, the bill is high for health
Mm-hmm.
and for care, patient care,
Mm-hmm.
but the quality is not the same. It can't be the
Yeah.
same
True.
if they're short staffed.
Preach, doc, preach.
So I agree with the nurses to strike. And I like the fact that certain hospitals decided, hey, we're going to go on strike, but before we do that, we're going to transfer some of these patients to another hospital. So they're not being careless. Even in their striking, they're not being careless.
Right.
And they're thinking of the well being of the patients. I wish hospitals took that love that they
Mhm.
have for money and put it on the love
Well, you
of
know what? No, doc.
they,
You know,
no,
business.
no. On the doctors, like one of my friends had surgery today. The doctor that usually performs surgery was always is on call, not only on call, but is working till 11, 12 o'clock at night and
Right.
is highly caffeinated in order to perform surgery.
Mhm.
If they had enough doctors or enough nurses to perform, accidents happen when people are tired and there's surgery in place.
Mhm.
So they won't say it's an accident or whatever, but if you're tired and you're performing a major surgery, you have a patient in front of you, that's careless because you didn't have enough staff to.
But doctor, let me chime in.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Bring
you
it, bring it,
you
bring
know,
it.
I can understand. People always want more
hmm
money.
hmm
People want higher wages.
They deserve it. The nurses
No,
and the
I'm not.
doctors
I
deserve
got
it.
it. Can I finish now?
Go ahead.
It's not whether they deserve it or not. The question is, who's going to pay for it?
We pay for it already.
No. Who's going to pay for it with these hospitals, these institutions? Do you know
John,
how much? Hold on,
John,
let me finish.
uh,
Do you know what the reimbursement rate is for an emergency room visit for a hospital?
$300.
Do you know what? You know how much they charge for an emergency room visit? It's $650. There might be 6 or 7, maybe $800 per visit. Do you know how much the insurance company's paying? They'll be lucky if they get $125. So where do they make up the gap? Now, you know, you have Medicaid, and you have Medicaid, but the insurance companies, the healthcare, those insurance companies are the biggest culprits when you look at the surplus that they have.
hmm
You talk about reimbursement for physicians. They want to $25 for $5 for a hospital. Reimbursement $10 for a hospital. The operations and things that they're having. What the insurance companies choose to pay, especially if they go out of network.
Look at the CEO salaries.
Exactly. And you're right. Look at the
John,
CEO salaries.
what I was saying to you, what you were talking about, right? Since 1972, when Richard Nixon took over for presidency, 68,
Mhm.
right? His first term, and when the start of his second term, till from 1972 till now, the average CEO salary increased, right? Increased 250%,
Mhm.
while the worker salary has increased less than 10%. I mean, overall, in comparison to the two. So if we can't look at what you're paying the CEOs, to me, I always make certain statements, right? If we all make $1 million, then everybody's on the same level, right? So why are you trying to make $50 million? Because that means if you're trying to make $50 million, somebody's got to pay for it. So the $1 million that we were making, that $1 million, probably it goes down to 250, 100,000, while one person is making 50 million. So the gap is there. So in order to fix the problem, America, that's why I say, that's why I like certain countries, America has to fix the CEO issue. America has to fix the greed issue.
The insurance company.
And the insurance company, I hate them. You know why I hate them?
Why?
Because they're only there to collect money. The moment you use them up for anything,
Oh, Lord, they want to cancel you.
So
I
want to.
They want to collect the premiums, but they don't want to pay out.
Yeah.
Nope.
G said something important, and this is with healthcare. My problem with the insurance companies is that they are determining your treatment and not your doctors, which is true. Certain insurance company will deny you certain services, and that's the problem, especially when you're paying for it. So your life is not that important. It's all about the money.
Mm.
Going back to what Roderick said, with insurance companies, that's what it's about, the money. Not quality, but quantity of how much they can stack in their pockets. So, yeah.
So true. So, I'm all for them. I'm all for the nurses striking. But at the same time, we need to look at the whole picture. We need to be really go after those insurance companies because, you have to see, these hospitals, their reimbursement rate is, oh my gosh. When the insurance, what they want to pay if you go out of network. So you have to look at, in order to improve the system, you really have to look at it in a holistic approach. And of course, you want increased wages, shorter hours, because it makes no sense. You got one nurse to 30 patients. How is that even possible for them to get quality care?
I want to hear about that. Deirdre and Roderick, let's hear about that. I'm curious, who's the CEO and all that?
Roger, do you remember how much our CEO?
No, I don't. I think it was about 4 million a year, but I don't remember. I think I don't remember.
What hospital?
Kingsbrook.
Oh, you mean doctor. It wasn't nowhere near $4 million. You talk about Doctor. I forgot her name, but she was a very good woman. She was a very good woman, and she did her best to make sure that they provided the services to the hospitals, even those who were not insured. Dr. Brady, Dr. Linda Brady. Dr. Linda Brady.
Thank you, Charlene. Charlene wrote, "Good night to the village family. Welcome to JA, my good up cousin Rudy and First Lady." Look.
Oh God.
It's just good with a thief.
Oh God, Deidre, you're funny. She
Right.
was good. She was good, but a thief.
but a thief.
So,
No. Why do you say that?
Was she
You gotta
like
have a
SBF?
conversation about that, teacher.
was she like Bank? Was she like Sam Bankman-Fried?
Nah.
That's
But,
me,
but the fact is though, the
Nice.
fact that like when you look at certain CEOs, they get $20 million a year, then they get stock options, then they get this, they get certain things that they get to write off. At the end of the day, these monies, right, can affect salaries, right? You could. I don't believe in the minimum wage. I don't believe that you need to raise the minimum wage. In America, you have to.
Wait. I do. Because
No,
here
hold on. Let
is
me just finish your thought. Wait. Let me just tell you why, right? I don't believe in a minimum wage because, okay, I give you a good example. I'm talking to my uncle
It's
today,
not gonna
right?
do anything.
Right.
It raised
They raised the minimum. So he got an increase on his maintenance of $400 every quarter. So if you're going to raise my minimum wage $15 and on the back end, you're going to raise my rent, you're going to raise the price of gas, you raise everything to compensate.
oh, well, here's the
Right?
thing.
That's a problem.
Well,
it's not that I don't think minimum wage is good. Is the byproduct of what they're doing. Because if you don't stop all of this money at the top, you don't matter. You can raise minimum wage
It's like a trick.
$1,000 an hour.
But here's the thing. There's some states that still have $6.50, $7.50, $7.25, but the price is still going up. So you can't blame it on minimum wage.
But Joe, I'm not saying I'm not arguing that we shouldn't have a minimum wage. I'm arguing that we shouldn't need to have a minimum wage if the greed at the top wasn't so great.
Yeah, the price of food has gone up.
Yes.
So much.
Why? We're not in COVID anymore. Why?
I don't know. And that's my thing. Why should I pay $10 for eggs? That makes no sense. $10?
Let me ask you, the Barzana Bridge is $21. The Whitestone Bridge is $18. I just came to Jamaica going across the bridge. Right? I took the toll. The toll went from $110 to $190. But yet still the cost of living in Jamaica is still very high. But you raise the toll. So who's benefiting from that? That's the problem, isn't it? Minimum wage isn't the issue, it's who's benefiting.
Well,
and it ain't us.
So as we come to a close this evening, I just want to say happy birthday to some good friends that's celebrating today. Happy birthday to those out there who celebrated last week, who's celebrating today, next week, or earlier on. And I know our two people, Andre and Roderick, will be celebrating this month as well.
Big up.
You started celebrating early,
Roderick celebrate every day.
Every day. Before I forget, I want to my sister-in-law, right? My sister-in-law, Aaliyah, is having a birthday. When is Aaliyah's birthday? Right? She's having tomorrow's her birthday. I also want to say big up to my friend Kamika. Her birthday is going to be on Sunday, I think the 8th. Big up to both Donna Dawson and Donna Phillips. Their birthday is on the 10th, so big up to both of them. And
happy birthday to everybody. That's why we say a generic happy birthday.
And a happy birthday to all, right? Yeah. January 15th, January 15th, right? My community board, for those of you out there who are looking for services, is doing the movie John Lewis.
Okay.
Right? So please come out. If you're interested, you can send us an email to Village Show 30 for us to send you. I can send you the flyer to Village Show 30, January 15th, the Monday. God bless.
Okay. All right.
God bless.
Everybody good? So thank you everyone for watching, viewing, sharing the Village Radio Talk Show on YouTube at the Village Radio Talk Show, on Facebook at John L. Sampson, Roderick F. Daly, Dr. Joanne Bryant, Andre Doman, Sophia Willesee, and on the Facebook page.
What are you drinking, Roderick?
Please continue to
The
subscribe
rum punch.
to the channel. God bless. And
Bless.
congratulations to my sister for the nuptials that's coming up on Saturday. Looking forward to it.
God
Congrats.
bless. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. Boom.